Thursday, 17th of October, somewhere near the North Pole. On board the Unsingable. Dear child, so much happened yesterday that I was unable to sit down and write you a letter. We had another storm and almost hit an iceberg. We see more and more of them every day, so we must be getting closer to the North Pole. This afternoon, we sailed past a small penguin colony. They really are the most amusing creatures. I have done a drawing of them for you. I went up to see the captain. He said that he could smell dry land. I was very excited by this, and I even tried to see if I could smell it too. But all I could smell were the kippers that Rue was cooking in the galley. We had a very enjoyable meal tonight, and afterwards the captain told us old sea tales, some of which I found very unpleasant. Rue added a few of her grandfathers, which I must say are becoming more and more ridiculous. She told us one in which he was swallowed by a whale and lived inside it for 2 years. He even built a little house in there, she said. He at last escaped by climbing out of the blowhole and swam all the way back to his ship. He got a medal for it. Then Rue began another story about how her grandfather captured a pirate ship on his own. I went to bed. If the captain can really smell land, then we must be nearly there. I shall send this letter as soon as I arrive. Can hardly sleep tonight. Too excited. With love, your grandfather. Friday, 18th of October, Walrus Bay, the North Pole. My dear child, hurrah! We have landed at Walrus Bay. The captain wished me luck and we shook hands. He gave Rue a tin of macaroni and cheese. I think he really liked her. We were sad to see him go. The town of Walrus is not a bad place, really. There are a few shops and a mailing station where I can send and receive letters. We went immediately to the mailing station to see if there were any letters for me. Got a postcard from your Uncle Vincent in Australia, who went off looking for gold. It said, "Dear brother, no gold yet, but when I find some I will be rich. As it is, I am very poor. Please send me some money. Love, Vincent. P.S. I hope you find the polar bears or whatever it is you're looking for." I sent him £5 and a pair of my best golfing socks. I picked up the key to our new cabin, and then we went to a shop called the Freezer Center and bought some provisions. Our cabin stands on a hill just outside Walrus. It was very dirty inside and seemed quite gloomy, but we soon cleaned it up and lit the stove. It has a bed, 3 chairs, and a table, and a small shed outside for storing wood. It's not much, but it's home. Very tired. Will write to you tomorrow. Tell your mother that I forgot to pack my woolly hat. Could she send it on to Walrus for me? The address is the mailing station, Wolf Street, Walrus Bay, near the North Pole. With love, your grandfather. Monday, the 21st of October, in our cabin, Walrus Bay. Dear child, I am sorry that I have not written to you sooner. The weather has been so bad that we were stuck in the cabin for 3 days and spent most of our time trying to keep the snow out. It manages to get in through the smallest gaps in the walls. When I woke up this morning, my bed was covered in snow, and I had to get Rue to dig me out. We have only been here for a few days, and already Rue wants to go home. She complains about her paws most of the time. I have given her a pair of socks, but she says they're the wrong color and won't wear them. Rather relieved when she went to bed, I'm afraid. I should like to begin the long journey up to Great Bear Ridge, but I don't feel that Rue is ready yet. She will take more training than I thought. Feeling a little low tonight. With love, your grandfather. Tuesday, 22nd of October, Walrus Bay. Dear child, this morning I was woken by wolves running across my roof. It was the second time this week, and I must say, I am heartily sick of it. Rue says that if they do it again, she will leave. Where she thinks she will go, I have no idea. Whether we like it or not, we are stuck here, and there is nothing we can do to change it. I have explained to Rue the purpose of our expedition, but she has a very short attention span and an even shorter memory. I must have told her 100 times that we are looking for the last polar bears. Went down to Walrus this afternoon to stock up on provisions. We paid a visit to the mailing station and bought a pair of Wellington boots and some blankets. Then we went down to the last store and came out with a lot of things that we hadn't needed when we went in. That's what it's like in the last store. You just can't seem to stop shopping. I bought an egg timer, a jar of treacle, 6 get-well cards, a stretcher, a footstool, a packet of jam labels, and a puncture repair kit. Rue bought a very crude painting of a rabbit, placed everything on the stretcher, and dragged it home. Tomorrow we will attempt to go beyond Wolf Point. Tell your mother I have plenty of clean socks and there is nothing to worry about. Wolves, very restless tonight. Your grandfather. Wednesday, the 23rd of October, Walrus Bay. Dear child, this morning I found some wolves in my woodshed looking for dried fish. I told them I didn't have any and they went away, but came back later with their brothers and sisters and stole 2 pillowcases off the clothesline and chewed holes in my new Wellingtons. repaired my boots with the puncture repair kit, and set off for Wolf Point just after lunch. Expedition delayed, as Rue refused to go past the wolves' shed. They were lying in there with my pillowcases, and I'm sure they had been drinking old sock because they were singing. What a racket! Rue was just as bad, though. She didn't want to go past them, but that didn't stop her from barking at them and causing a general fuss. Several wolves came out of the shed for a fight, and Rue promptly ran away, leaving me to deal with them. They were so drunk by this time that they began to fight amongst themselves, and I left them to it. All this is Grogman's fault. He shouldn't sell them alcohol. Eventually found Rue again and harnessed her up to my trolley. My Wellingtons leaked the whole way up to Wolf Point. The snow up here is very slushy from where the ice caps have melted, and I'm sure the polar bears must be further up where the snow is firmer. I think that they have gone up to Great Bear Ridge. If they're not there, I don't know where they will be. Turned around at 3 o'clock and went back down the glacier toward the cabin. Went past the wolves' shed, but they were asleep. Rue made supper tonight, so I am feeling rather unwell now. It was a dreadful affair that consisted of last night's leftovers and something that had 5 legs and was very hard to chew. Tell your mother that I am fine. I am 78 years old and can look after myself. Your grandfather. Thursday, the 24th of October, Walrus Bay. Dear child, one of my gloves is missing, so writing this is hard as I have to keep stopping to warm my hand. More trouble last night. A group of wolves arrived at my door past midnight and demanded to come in and see if we had any dried meat hidden away. I told them to go to bed, but I know that they went down to Grogman's and bought more old sock. They sang all night, and I don't think I slept a wink. This morning, I got out the map and tried to work out a new route up to Great Bear Ridge. Wolf Point is too steep for Rue to pull the trolley up. Narrow Valley is too narrow. And Windy Corner is too windy. I found a route called the Gentle Slopes and decided that sounded most suitable. In the afternoon, we went to see my new friend, Jackson, the snow poet. Jackson makes the most fantastic snow sculptures I have ever seen. At the moment, he is working on a giant moose made entirely from snow and nothing else. When I arrived, he was working on the antlers. Jackson has been here for a long time. He lives very simply, and I often wonder how he manages it all. Nobody pays him to make snow sculptures. Jackson told me that the snow has begun to melt at Blue Whale Bay. He said he had been there on Monday, and the sculpture of an albatross he made the week before had melted into the sea. Before I left, he gave me one of his snow poems as a present. It was printed on a block of ice. Jackson has written hundreds of poems about the snow, but this one I found very sad. It went, Oh, snow, snow, snow. When you melt, where do you go? I do not knows where melted snow goes. I gave him 2 dried fish and a tin of toffees. Then we said good-bye and went home. I cooked tonight. Tell your mother I forgot to take my books back to the library, and could she do it, please? It is snowing. The wolves are very quiet tonight. Sweet dreams, child. Your grandfather. Friday, the 25th of October, Walrus Bay. My dear child, very restless tonight. Rue will not sleep in her basket and keeps getting into my bed in the middle of the night. I wouldn't mind so much if she didn't fidget and poke me with her paws. Got up at 5 o'clock and made some tea while Rue slept on in comfort. This morning went down to the mailing station to see if any letters had arrived for me. Got a letter from your Uncle Freddie asking for his golf trolley back. I am still using the trolley to carry all our equipment, so he can't have it back yet. Sent him a telegram. Trolley accidentally eaten by wolves. Stopped off at the freezer center and bought a jar of toffees to keep my strength up. Of late, I have found I've been getting far too tired. It must be the cold. Ate the toffees and felt refreshed. When I got back, it was 11 o'clock, and Rue was still in bed. How can I head an expedition when my lead dog won't get up in the morning? This afternoon, there was an avalanche, and a lot of snow fell from Wolf Point down into the valley. It is too dangerous to attempt to get up to Great Bear Ridge at the moment. The snow is melting more every day, and this was the 3rd avalanche this week. As I write this letter to you, Rue is cooking the dinner. The wolves have just gone past my window, and one of them threw a snowball. The stove is casting a cheerful light, and we are warm and safe. Do not worry about us, child. Although Rue and I have never been on an expedition before, we know what we are doing. Tell your mother that I am eating 3 times a day, and I always wear my scarf outside. I'm afraid I shall have to stop now, child. As Rue says, dinner is ready. Your grandfather. Saturday, 26th of October, Walrus Bay. Dear child, how the wind howled last night. I thought it would blow the roof off our cabin. I did not sleep well. Melted some snow and made a pot of tea. It is very cold today, and I fear that I am running out of time. I need to get up to Great Bear Ridge soon. After breakfast, I decided to pay Jackson a visit to see how he was getting along with his snow moose sculpture. He was not very happy when I found him. The snow moose had melted. It looked more like a moose than a moose. Only the antlers remained, and they were melting too. I gave Jackson some oranges and a teapot to cheer him up. But as I made my way back down the hill, I'm sure I heard him weeping. After a lunch of smoked cheese, I took Rue to practice dragging the trolley in preparation for our expedition. I played a little golf to keep my spirits up. I find that if I hit a good shot in the direction we are walking, the distance we walk to find my golf ball distracts us from noticing how far we have walked. I had to paint the balls red so that they would show up against the snow. I've only got 3 golf clubs with me, a driver for those long shots across the snow valleys, a 5-iron for those medium shots across crevasses, and my putter for those delicate shots across the ice. Rue does not like me playing golf. She does not watch me hit the ball, nor does she help me find it. I had just played a particularly difficult shot over a small glacier. It was only 30 meters high, which is quite small for a glacier, when she decided she wanted to go home. She took off down the hill, dragging my trolley behind her, and managed to tip it over. Golf balls, tent pegs, tins of food, my driver, and my beloved putter all came spilling out of the golf bag and shot down a very deep ravine. They are lost forever. Perhaps 1,000 years from now they will be found, frozen solid into the ice, and scientists will argue over what they are. I am very angry with Rue tonight, and I have not spoken to her all evening. Wind only howling a little. No sign of wolves. My love to your mother, your grandfather. Monday, the 28th of October, Walrus Bay. Dear child, I haven't been able to write to you for a few days, as we have had a terrible snowstorm. It lasted for 2 days, and I have been cooped up in here with Rue, unable to get out. I read to her from a book called David Copperfield, but she said it had no pictures of rabbits in it, so it was of no interest to her. She spent most of the time staring out the window, though there was nothing to see, only the whirling snow. We ran very short on fuel during the snowstorm, so I had to burn some of our possessions to keep warm. I burnt 2 chairs, 2 legs of the table, and Rue's basket. If the blizzard hadn't stopped, I would have started on the floorboards. Rue was very upset about her basket. She said she was going to keep things in it. I said it was a pity she hadn't slept in it. In the end, I had to tell her the story of the ice cream on Great Bear Ridge to cheer her up. Once upon a time, I told her, the snow was so pure and clean that it tasted better than the finest ice cream money could buy. But as the air got dirtier from all the chemicals and fumes, the snow lost its taste. The last of the world's ice cream lies up on Great Bear Ridge, piles of it. And that's why we are going up to Great Bear Ridge to get ice cream for Rue. Rue loves to hear this story, though she has heard it many times, and I must admit that I have added bits. The fabulous chocolate mint chip, for instance, that can only be found in the shade, or the delicious strawberry split, found only at sunset. These are my own inventions. Rue felt much better after this, and seemed keen to get up to Great Bear Ridge as soon as possible to find ice cream. Dug our way out this afternoon and went down to Walrus to stock up on provisions. Spent a long time searching for the shops, as everything lay buried deep beneath the snow. Eventually found the mailing station after Rue fell down the chimney. Must have walked right across the roof. Rue wasn't hurt. However, she is now a black dog rather than a yellow one. Everyone in the mailing station was much amused by this. Rue went and lay beneath the counter and wouldn't come out. I bought potatoes, porridge, oats, dried fish, tent pegs, and new Wellingtons, and then discovered that the mailing clerk had a parcel for me. Your father had sent me my old one-iron, which I, in my haste to pack, had forgotten. I was extremely cheered by this, and bought Rue a yellow ball, a scarf with flowers on it, and a packet of roasted peanuts as a celebration. My one-iron is my favorite golf club. It is not only good for long shots and putting, but is also an excellent ice pick and walking stick rolled into one. I am sure that with my one-iron, I will now definitely make it to Great Bear Ridge and find the polar bears. We walked past Grogman's on our way home, and I'm afraid it rather ruined our good cheer. There were several wolves hanging around outside drinking old sock, and as we went past they sang a very rude song about us. It went something like this, but I've taken the rudest bits out, as your mother wouldn't like it. There was an old man and a little dog, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of sock. He was too mean to give us grog, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of sock. A poor brave wolf went to his door, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of sock. The old man booted him to the floor, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of sock. This is, of course, complete nonsense. I have never booted anything to the floor, let alone a wolf. Snowballs were then thrown at us, but I ordered Rue to ignore them. We got back home without further incident. A fine meal of roast potatoes this evening. Rue did not eat much. I am sure that she has her own food hidden away somewhere in here. She is very careful with her money, and although I only give her 5 pence a week, which I think is plenty enough for a small dog, I am certain that she has more money than I do, and possibly more food. Wolves got back very late from Grogman's and sang another 16 verses of the song on my roof. Must go to sleep now. Very tired. Sleep well, child. Your grandfather.